5 signs of a narcissistic parent. My name's Jared Mello, the wizard of radical self-respect and the shepherd of black sheep. Let's jump right in. The first sign is they give their affection very conditionally. Narcissistic parents, they make their children earn their love and affection. And I use the term love here very loosely because narcissistic parents, they see their children as extensions of themselves. They think their children exist to meet their needs, not the other way around. And what will happen is when the children act in a way that the narcissistic parent values, they will give the children praise and validation. But if the children act in a way the narcissistic parent does not value, then the narcissistic parent will not hesitate to withhold love and punish them. And the punishments may consist of belittling, devaluing them, insulting them and putting them down, being passive aggressive, or lots of anger, or even silent treatments. But the end result here is the children begin to associate the behaviors of the narcissistic parent with love. So they think a normal, healthy adult relationship will consist of having to earn love and affection. Number 2, they will be emotionally inconsistent and hot and cold. There are several types of narcissistic parents. Some of the narcissistic parents, they just don't really seem to care much about parenting or the kids, and they are involved in other things. Maybe it's an addiction, maybe it's cheating, or whatever it is, they're just emotionally absent in the home. But this results in emotionally inconsistent parenting, and the parent is also emotionally unavailable. This turns into a very emotionally unsafe environment for the children to grow up in. They also feel like they have to walk on eggshells a lot of times because they don't really know what version of their narcissistic parent they are going to get. Sometimes they might get the parent that's a little bit more attentive and into them. Other times they get the version that doesn't really seem to care and just doesn't want to be bothered at all. But this also leaves the children in a state of constant survival mode. They are constantly in the 4 F's: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And this has a lot of negative effects on someone's mental health and physical health as they grow up. Number 3, they do not encourage their children to develop their autonomy and become their own person. In fact, they do the exact opposite. Whenever the kid decides to try to be their own person and be honest about what they think and feel, the narcissistic parent will punish them for it. And the only time they won't punish them for it is if it meets the ideal of what they want their children to be like. In any other circumstance, that child will not be rewarded with any kind of affection or praise. And this results in the child learning how to suppress who they really are. They have to hide who they really are around their narcissistic parents. And then they are good at having external compliance, but internal defiance. And these are the kids that they don't feel like they can be themselves unless their narcissistic parent is not around. And maybe they have a safe sibling in some cases, or maybe they wait to be around their friends to really let down their guard and to be themselves, because at home, they are not allowed to be who they really are. Whenever they try to be, they are met with punishments. They are met with passive aggressiveness. And so they learn, okay, it is not okay for me to be myself here, so I have to hide who I am in order to stay safe. Number 4, image is everything. To a narcissistic parent, it is more important to appear like a great parent than to actually be a great parent. And this presents itself as them acting like they're a great parent in public, acting like they have a great relationship with their kids, but meanwhile, behind closed doors, it's a completely different story because a narcissistic parent can be a completely different person in public than they are behind closed doors. This is really crazy making for the children and the spouse of the narcissistic parent because out in public, they see this narcissistic parent probably acting very helpful and generous, but it's absolutely an act. And if those children or the spouse were to ever talk to other people in public that don't really know the narcissistic parent, they would say to them, oh, you're so lucky to have them as a parent, or you're so lucky to have them as a spouse. But they're only saying this because they don't really know who the narcissistic parent really is. The people that live with them know, though, and they see the version of them when their mask is off, when they start belittling people, punishing them, withholding love, etc. Also, their care of appearance goes to the children's image as well. They care about physical appearance a lot of times, especially the somatic narcissists. They want you to look good and they want you to be in good shape. If you ever gain weight, they'll probably be the first ones to tell you. And if you ever do poorly in sports, they'll be the first ones to tell you. They also want you to volunteer at the right places, not necessarily because they care about that cause, but because they care about how that will appear to the outside world. Because again, to the narcissistic parent, image is absolutely everything. Number 5, they play favorites. Narcissistic parents, they do not treat their children the same. They will often have a golden child. The golden child is the one that most closely matches the ideals of what the narcissistic parent wants their children to be like. The golden child is the one that helps the image of the family. And the golden child will often be good looking a lot of times. But the narcissistic parent's affection towards the golden child is absolutely conditional. If the golden child starts acting differently in a way the narcissistic parent doesn't like, they can absolutely get demoted. Then there's a scapegoat. The scapegoat is the one that gets blamed for everything. All of the feelings that the narcissistic parent doesn't want to feel, they project them onto the scapegoat. And the scapegoat is the one that the narcissistic parent takes out their frustrations on. Now, in rare cases, a scapegoat can be promoted to golden child depending on how the golden child is. But also to note, if there's an only child, they can play all of the roles interchangeably. Also, the narcissistic parent will usually triangulate the kids a lot of times and pit them against one another. They might say to the scapegoat, "Why can't you be more like your brother or sister golden child?" Or they might pit them against people outside of the family even and say, "Why can't you be more like this person?" The result is people are chasing the narcissistic parent's love and affection because that is exactly what the narcissistic parent wants. To reiterate the 5 signs of a narcissistic parent, the first one is they make their children earn their love and affection. The second one is they are emotionally inconsistent and hot and cold. The third one is they don't encourage their children to become autonomous adults. The fourth one is image is absolutely everything to them. And then the fifth one is they will absolutely play favorites. If you got this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video if you liked it, and comment below if you also had a narcissistic parent. Or what role did you play? Were you a golden child? Were you a scapegoat? Were you a black sheep? Were you a lost child? Or maybe you were a clown mascot? Let us know below. I'm sure you are not alone here with any of that. And please share this video with someone else that you think might benefit.